This is Joshua Farnsworth. Welcome to my traditional woodworking school. In this video, Will Myers will show you how to easily attach a paper clock face to make a reproduction shaker wall clock look like it's straight out of the year 1840.
We're ready to put our face on, and the way I do it is just use this is printed off, it's on cardstock. On the resource section of the video we'll have this template here, you can print it off. I drew this, and this is not all that hard to do. I did it with like a fine point marker and ink pens, and then scanned it, and then I print off copies of it. And the reason I drew it is because I don't know of some of the people that sell like clock movements and stuff sell paper faces, and couldn't find anything quite like the originals, and you know the size of the numerals and that kind of thing. There used to be some you could get, and you know, that said 1840 on them, just for reproducing these clocks. The font for the numerals is way too big, but so what I did, I measured the original and then drew this, and so dimensionally it's the same as the original. And the 1840 here that he drew is I traced, printed off a photo and got it to the right size, and then traced it and put it on this one. So it looks like the original, which is I don't know, it's another little detail, but I just like the way his looked. And the dial layout, the hands on the originals, that was kind of a family style of hands, and he used that on pretty much all the clocks he made. And his uncle Benjamin Youngs, that was a clockmaker, also used hands that were real similar to Isaac's, so it's kind of family tradition. Okay, and they're, you know, it's just you know, adds a little bit. You of course use any kind of face you want. So this, I'm printing it off on paper here, and then we're going to glue it to the back piece. Also said the originals were metal, and he hand painted each face. They're all hand painted, and just how he did it, I have no idea. I mean, they're just, you can tell that the numerals right here on 1840 are hand done, and you can tell that the time ring and the Roman numerals are hand done, but they're just so perfect. I mean, you have to be really close to see anything as far as inconsistencies. So how he did it, I don't know, but it's painted, and it's absolute perfection. So enough about that. We need to glue this to the backboard here that we made just a minute ago. There's different types of contact adhesive. I've been using just a spray adhesive right here. Something a little less tacky would be good. This stuff, it kind of grabs pretty quick, so I mean, it holds really well, and it doesn't bleed through the paper, which is the main thing. But I'm using a thick cardstock here, so you know, there's several kinds of paste and stuff you can use to apply these. So okay, so we got to get this paper face centered up on our marks we made earlier. So what I do, I'm just going to take my awl right here in the center of the X I made, make just a little spot, and I've got just a round regular wire finish nail here, and I'm going to put that right in there. So here on our paper face, I'm going to take my awl, and I'm going to make I'm going to punch through. You see there's a black dot, and that's the center.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying watching our video so far, and I just want to take a few seconds to let you know about our traditional woodworking store, which you can visit while taking a class or by visiting our website at woodandshop.com/store. You'll find our amazing products to help you grow in traditional hand tool woodworking, including in-person and video woodworking classes, woodworking hand tools and workbenches, woodworking plans, traditional wood finishes, shirts and hats, and cool hand tool woodworking gifts for you or your loved ones. Okay, back to the show.
I'm just going to punch that right through and hopefully not punch my finger. So now I can put that over the nail. And just because I'm lined up with the edges right here, it doesn't mean that it's straight. The time ring tends to, when you print them, could be turned a little bit to the edges of the paper. So to check that, I'm going to take and line it up with what looks like pretty straight. And I'm going to go ahead and fold over my edges right here a little bit. Take it back off, and I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and trim that off. And we may have to do some more trimming here, but I'm trying to get where I can put some location marks on the edge of the paper that can meet on the backboard. Okay, so now I'll just take my ruler, and I'm going to cross the 6 and the dots. We've got dot with a slash mark on either side. I'm going to cross those, and of course make sure it lines up with the center hole there. And I'm just going to make a couple little, don't need to make big marks because we don't want to see these. Just a couple little location marks, top and bottom edge. Okay. So what I'm going to do here on the face, I'm going to come measure between those marks that I made. And I've got about 7.5. So it'd be 3 3/4, thereabouts. Yeah, that looks about right. And I'm going to transfer, and these are going to be off a little because of the diameter of the nail. So. Make a couple little tick marks here that I can see as I'm laying the face down. Because you really only got one shot at this. So if you're using the templates we provide and print out faces, you may want to print out more than one, because, or if you take them somewhere and have them printed. Because it's not impossible to mess up. So there we go. You see my little mark I made on my face paper, and on the edge here I'm on my nail, and I'm lining up on both top and bottom. So with that, we're ready to glue this thing. I'm going to leave the nail in there. That'll help me line up. This spray glue is a mess, so be careful with it. I'll kind of clear the decks here just a little bit. Right here on my bottom little pieces that are projecting down, I'm going to put a little masking tape on there just so I don't get glue on those. And just pull the tape off here in a minute. That way we don't have sticky everywhere. And I don't put a real heavy coat of this stuff. See a little bit sticking out there. Just a light. If you get too wet of a coat, there's a chance you could bleed through your paper, and that would be bad. So I've got a little bit of paper here so I don't make too big of a mess. And this stuff needs to be shaken, and I've already shook it a little bit. So just after it's shaken up, it's kind of like spraying paint here. I'm just going to put a little bit on here, and I'm going to be really quick about putting the face, because this stuff tacks really, really, really quick, and if I need to pull it back up at all, I'll probably have problems. Okay, I'm on my pencil marks. So I'm going to start in the middle here and kind of press this down. And you don't have to worry about pressing too hard. Just make sure it's laying flat. You can let that dry just a little bit if you think you've got a little too much on there before you press down too much, because too much will definitely bleed through. So you see I'm hanging off the edges here just a little bit. Once that glue dries, I can come back with a razor blade, or I usually use my marking knife and just trim those. If you want to, you can leave them hanging over. So with that, we're ready to bore the hole through it for the works. Okay, this movement I'm using, I left this out so I would remember, has a little ferrule. This is what attaches it to the face. If you'll notice, it has a shoulder on the back side. I don't know if you can see that, but be sure and look at whatever kind of works you've got. If it's got a nut like this, you need to bore the hole the size of this little shoulder, because this one, the post is smaller. So this type movement's fooled me a couple times. I usually bore the hole for the size of the post, and then I go to put it on, it won't go on because of that little shoulder. So, okay, so I'm just going to take my brace here and just real carefully. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards just a little bit. The white pine face is, sometimes it'll grab and peel a piece of paper up. I want those nickers to cut the paper and not tear. Okay, so now we can go through and hopefully not tear this up. And then I'll finish up from the back side here. And get that sticky paper out of the way. And once you get the face on, be careful, keep your hands clean. It doesn't take much at all, and you've got a big thumbprint right on the pristine white paper. I need to pick that up before I lose it. And so now I can just come back from the back side. I'm trying not to lay this flat on the bench. I don't want to get anything on it. Finish up from over here. Okay, that's all there is to that. So now I'm going to check and make sure this little ferrule will go in there, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that auger's a little bit small. Maybe not, it's perfect. So now I'm ready to get the works put in it, and I don't know what I did with those, so I'll find them and we'll install them here in just a minute.
If you're interested in learning traditional woodworking, come take a class at our school in Earlysville, Virginia. You can also visit our website at woodandshop.com, where you'll find a bunch of free woodworking lessons, workshop tours, and our very popular tool buying guides. And make sure you subscribe to our free newsletter to get our latest articles and videos. Enjoy!